Hello and welcome to Europhoria, a podcast where we look back on the great, glam and garish of Eurovision past. My name's Isobel Chilman and I'm joined as ever by a man whose weekly video chats make me feel as if there is no degree of separation between us during this time. It's Roland Podnam.
Hey. Hi, how's everyone doing? Hi, how are you doing, Isobel?
Everyone, me. How am I doing? I'm doing all right, thanks.
There.
Yeah. Do you like that was my little throwback to Italy 2016.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah, I like how now we're having to sort of reference what we're referencing because we're getting into obscure territory here.
That was a good Eurovision reference. That's one of my favourite. That's one of my favourite songs of recent years. That's another one of those ones that if I hear it in the wrong mood, I cry.
Oh, mate. Well, wrong or right
Lovely.
mood. Sometimes you know, it's
Lovely.
nice to have a little cry. Hi, everyone. Happy Easter Sunday, if that's what you celebrate, and happy just Easter, or no, happy Sunday if you don't.
Happy Easter or happy Sunday.
Yeah. I feel
Except
like
this is probably going to come out on a Thursday. So
absolutely.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah. Well. Happy next Sunday. Ooh, I feel like I'm coming into this one with a lot of energy.
It's coming in hot.
Ooh, coming in hot. You been up to much, Isobel? No.
It's bank holiday. It's bank holiday Easter weekend here in the UK. So I had Friday off work. I have tomorrow off work. I also booked Thursday off work because I should have been in the south of France right now, but obviously I'm not.
I should have been in California right now.
We all should have been somewhere.
Should have been somewhere
else.
But
instead, actually, the weather's been really lovely in London. So I've spent every day sat on my stoop, sunbathing and knitting.
You've managed to sort of separate the working from home with the extended just sort of time at home. Okay, then.
Yeah, I work my working hours and knit in my knitting hours.
Wow, you've been really committing to this knitting.
Oh my god, yeah, look, I've got another booty.
That's a good old booty.
Booty's been made. That's a child-sized booty.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm trying to make some smaller booties. So I've asked my lovely colleague and your lovely ex-colleague, Abby, if I could knit some booties for her little lads. And she said yes. And I said, are they all right? Do you think they'll be all right with pink booties? Because that's the only colour I've got. And she was like, yeah, as long as they've both got a pair, it'll all be fine. So I'm making some little kid-sized booties at the moment. Very happy with that.
I like that you asked permission to make someone booties. I mean, I'm sure you can make them anyway and then just flog them off.
Well, yeah. I just didn't want it. I don't know.
You don't want to
felt like
go to waste.
Consent was needed for the booty making.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
I didn't want to make child-sized booties and then have no child to give.
Not have a child to give. Yeah, that would be tragic.
Yeah.
Are you having any beverage this evening?
I am indeed. It might look like water on the screen to you, Roland, because I've
run
out of ice. And I've run out of oh my god, it's been a week. It could well be. No, I've run out of ice and I have run out of lemons and limes. Oh, it's a pandemic, guys. It's real difficult right now.
Geez, yeah.
But that is a gin and tonic.
Good for you. I'm off the gin and tonic this week, and I am back to the.
Finished it all.
Because no. I've still got some
already
left.
Drank all
yeah, I know.
gin.
Seriously, I had about 4 bottles.
I'm back. Caroline's fed up with you sobbing every Sunday after you get off.
After I've had too much gin. Oh, I've had too much again. No, I'm back on the good old classic red wine. I'm on the strangely named Carnivore from California. Carnivore. It says meat was made for carnivore on the back.
Oh, God. That sounds like a straight man wrote it.
Yes, it does. It's like a slightly fragile, masculine man had to make himself feel more masculine by writing carnivore on a bottle of wine. But it's not bad tasting. Here you go. I'll pop the cork. It's already half drunk. Oh,
that was a good one.
Yeah, it was a nice deep one. And then here we go.
I'm jealous now.
Oh, cheers, mate.
Cheers.
So, Isabel, do we have any
Eurovision news? Sounds a bit late coming in there.
I wondered where you'd gone. Do we have any? Probably not, because
News is
no news.
Eurovision's still not happening.
No, yes, we will update you if it does, because that would be dramatic turn of events. But no, it's not happening, and not much news about what the replacement will be. But we talked about that. But there is no news, Isobel. But I do have some insider information, which is coming in the form of some any other business. Which we have some listener emails, which let's just jump straight in. Our first listener email, and this is not the insider information, I'm doing this in a weird order, but our first email has the subject line, and you'll like this one, I will claim some booties.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
It says, hi Isobel and Roland. I am so happy that the podcast has been back and have been listening to it every week. Like everyone else, it helps with the isolation. As the title says, I will be happy to have some booties knitted for me if you are really bored. I've been passing the time with yoga and baking. Speaking of baking, I would usually do some Eurovision baking in May, but since it's been cancelled, I'm not sure if I will still do it. I will get stressed, and it takes a lot of preparation and time, but in the end, I'm always happy about what I've achieved. So I guess
What's Eurovision baking?
What's a Eurovision baking? I don't know. You could do cupcakes with the flags. I've seen people do that.
Yeah,
Maybe that, or maybe it's more interpretive. We just don't know. So it says, but in the end, I'm always happy with what I've achieved. So I guess I could still do it, but don't really have anyone to share it with, bar my partner and cat. What are your thoughts? I think you should do it. Have a great Easter weekend. Love from Reggie.
Reg, I'm so glad.
The good doctor from Down Under.
Doctor from Down Under.
Denmark,
no, but
is it now?
She's not. Yeah. Reg isn't
Denmark.
in Down Under anymore.
No, I know. Yeah, in Denmark. Reggie, lovely email from Reggie there, and she's going to claim some booties.
Reg, nailed it, mate. All right, I'll email you back.
Yeah.
And I'll get your address, and those booties are coming to Copenhagen, baby.
Yeah.
You can have. Well, I say that not yet because they've not been knitted yet. So right now I'm on the child size ones, but they are very quick and easy. So I will complete them immediately, and then I will move on to your booties. You get no chulla. That's not a word. That's not a word. You get no choice of colour, is what I'm trying to say. So the way that the booty making is a very spiritual experience. The booties kind of make themselves through you. So I use the same premise as our good friend Benji's Auntie Margaret, who originally made the booties, which is that you don't get to choose what they look like. You just get given what you're given, and you're happy with it. So Reg, they'll most likely be pink because I have loads of pink wool, but who knows what the pom-pom colour is going to be.
Ooh, that's exciting. I was going to say, how do you, are you at risk of running out of wool anytime soon? Have we got a shortage going on?
I've got about 8 of these balls.
Okay.
Wool.
And that's
I
enough
bought some on eBay.
Oh, good job.
You can get, each one of these, right, you can probably get 4 booties out of.
Okay, all right, yeah. So we're good. Is that it now? If anyone else emails asking for booties, I guess they'll be put in a queue, will they?
Yeah. Go on. I think I've got another set in me.
All right, okay.
Reggie's got the first. I'm very happy that Reggie's got the first set. Love our doctor from Down Under. But yeah, go on. I'll push myself. I can do another set of booties. But you have to let me know if you've got overly large feet, because I do have to extend the pattern by an extra inch for a large-footed human.
Or like extra toes or any sort of strange shape that should be taken into account.
I can't deal with strange shapes. I can just add an inch or take off an inch if it's a child or a giant.
Just your normal feet, please.
Feet, yeah. Don't start sending us pictures of your feet either.
Oh, no. Well, I was going to say, can Reggie send pictures of her feet with the booties on them, or are we not?
Well,
yeah, okay, good.
Well,
yeah,
once she's got the booties.
Yeah, okay, good.
I just don't want us to start getting into some weird like foot podcast.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
We're not
congratulations, Reggie, on the first official Europhoria piece of merchandise. Might be worth millions one day. It might be worth nothing at all. We just don't know.
It'll be priceless either way.
Yes. Yes. Valueless or priceless.
It will absolutely have no price attached to it. Possibly attached to
Possibly, yeah, absolutely. All right. Our second email of the day. The subject line is Eurovision movie picks. Hello, my darlings. I am so glad you're back. I listened to you guys for a year, but listened to the entire back catalogue whilst exploring Krakow on holiday. So now whenever I think of Poland, your lovely voices come to mind. Great.
Oh.
Given the dearth of news about the Eurovision movie, I thought I'd share these with you. I live in Edinburgh, and one day I saw all of the Eurovision banners around. I was so excited thinking Eurovision was doing something in my town, so I was actually a wee bit disappointed when I heard it was for a movie and that my chance to see Eurovision magic would not happen. But I saw some movie magic, and given the stunt cars and fire engines I saw, this film will be a bit mad. I've attached pics I took of the filming and hope it gives you some juicy thought to keep us going until normality returns.
Oh,
Love
so
to you both
good.
and hope you and your loved ones are safe, Jen. So obviously,
Jen.
listen. I can show you these as well, but obviously listeners can't see.
I'm looking.
Oh, you got the email up?
Yeah, I've got the email up.
Excellent,
What's the contraption on top of the green Mini?
So that there is a stunt car. Now, this is from my extensive knowledge of cinematography. That there is a stunt car. So what they will do is have the stunt driver drive the car from a small pod that sits atop a normal-looking car, and then all of the angles they'll either shoot the drivers, the actors, so probably in this case Will Ferrell, will be sat in the normal seat, and then they'll either CGI or just like frame out of shot the stunt driver on top who's actually controlling the car.
What?
So, yeah, that's amazing. So there's, so it's Edinburgh, shots of Edinburgh. There's a green Mini, as we were talking about, with a stunt pod on top of it. And then there's banners saying Eurovision. Actually, there's a tagline here that we've got. It says Eurovision Perfect Harmony. As the tagline on the banners.
I mean, that's wet enough to be a real one.
I know. Yeah, it really is. It's very exciting. Look at that insider knowledge. We've got feet on the ground getting information for us right here, right there.
Yeah, great. Any other snoops out there? Come on, drop us a line. It can be anonymous. Any Hollywood insiders?
So that was from Jen. So thank you so much. That is amazing. We have people everywhere. We've got ears everywhere. We've got eyes everywhere. Very nice to know some insider information. Intel. Yeah, great
Love
intel.
it.
Great intel. So, Isobel, that's it. It's my week for a story this week, isn't it?
It is indeed, after my fantastic tale last week.
So, Isobel, I've decided to do things a little differently this week. Instead of bringing you just one story, I am bringing you an anthology of 3 stories this week. These are, don't worry, this won't be a 3-hour long episode. These are stories that I have seen along the way of doing research and thought, oh, that would be really great, but it's just not long enough. So what I've decided to do is to stick them all together in one episode, and we can go through them one by one, and I can tell you the story, and hopefully it will, come together as a nice little trilogy for us all here.
All right. Well, you're just using up future stories, though, mate.
No. Honestly, some of them are
20 seconds done.
Yeah, some of them are short. One maybe could have been extended out to one, but I thought the other 2 were short enough that I could just tag them onto the back. Not saying that they're any worse or better, but yeah, they're
just not long enough.
I want to talk about them, but they're not long enough to talk about.
I'm sold. It's fine.
So, Isobel, let's begin with story 1, titled Yesterday. So, we all know the song Yesterday, right? One of the Beatles. Yeah, one of the Beatles' biggest songs, considered by many to be one of the best written pop songs of all time. And in fact, was also the subject of a movie recently, which posed the question, what if someone got a hold of the song and, without anyone really knowing the original Beatles version, released it themselves? Funny concept for a movie, right?
Sure.
Well. Known as the man with the golden voice, Matt Monro filled cabarets, nightclubs, music halls and stadiums across the world in his 30-year music career. AllMusic.com described Monro as one of the most underrated pop vocalists of the 60s. He was born in Shoreditch, London on the 1st of December 1930. I know, near
That's
you.
near me, that. Just down the road.
I didn't get the address, but it's not far from you. And he was first noticed as a performer while serving in the British Armed Forces in Hong Kong, where he made regular appearances on a local British Forces radio station's Talent Time show. And actually, he was so successful on this show that the host ended up inviting him to have his own one-off show, only on the condition that he never perform on Talent Time again, in order to make room for other, apparently less talented people.
How does that all make sense?
Well, because he kept appearing on Talent Time and kept doing really well, and they were like, "You got to
hog in the limelight."
Yeah, you got to give room to other people. So they said, "Look, we'll give you."
That's like saying to Beyonce,
Stop.
do you mind? You've got to let Michelle
I know, yeah.
have the limelight occasionally. Come on, you shared it all right with Kelly, but
Stop being good.
Stop being so good and let the other ones put something a bit worse out there. That's not fair for an achiever.
And if everyone likes him and everyone wants to hear him, then give the people what they want. I guess they gave him the hour-long show, one-off show, but couldn't go on Talent Time ever again. In 1960, Peter Sellers was producing the album Songs for Swinging Sellers, and Matt Monro was reached out to by none other than legendary music producer and man who had the nickname The Fifth Beatle, George Martin. So he was reached out to by George Martin to record You Keep Me Swinging as a demo tape to help Sellers re-record it in a mock Frank Sinatra style. However, upon hearing it, Sellers decided to use the demo recording to open the whole album rather than he re-record it himself. Despite Sellers billing Monro as a man called Fred Flange on the album notes...
That's a great comedy name. That is a classic comedy name. Well done, Sellers.
Despite him being sort of miscredited, the incident did develop into a lifelong friendship with George Martin, a friendship which apparently would be key to events further down the road. Matt got a new recording contract with EMI's Parlophone record label. His second single with the label was Monro's most successful song in the UK charts, with the song Portrait of My Love, which reached number 3 in the charts in the UK.
Wowee.
Yeah. Over the next few years, Matt's rising star took off, being named Top International Act by Billboard in 1961 and having top 40 hits stateside with the songs My Kinda Girl and Walk Away. In 1964, Matt was selected to represent the UK at the Eurovision Song Contest with the song I Love the Little Things. Now, sadly, no video footage exists of the 1964 Song Contest, as it's thought that the recording was lost in a fire at the studios of the Danish broadcaster. But a copy of the contest is rumoured to have been discovered at the French television archives, although it hasn't been made available for public viewing. And a tape canister was discovered in the BBC archives with Eurovision 1964 scrawled on the side. However, on opening, there was no film inside, presumably due to the BBC's practice of wiping old footage to reuse it.
Oh.
Then they did that. They almost
nice and sustainable, but seriously, come on.
They almost did that with all of the old Monty Python stuff, and then George Harrison
Shut your mouth.
Bought it and saved it all. But
I did not know that. I knew that George Harrison had bought it because he helped fund Life of Brian. Like he's in Life of Brian because he helped fund it, but I didn't know he saved it all from being wiped. That's bonkers. Oh, I was watching kind of sub to Python, part Python. I was watching a really old version of the Four Yorkshiremen sketch today.
Oh, yeah.
Because Tim Brooke-Taylor died.
I know.
If you don't know who Tim Brooke-Taylor was, he was a brilliant comedian, part of the Goodies, part of Sorry, I Haven't a Clue. And he, alongside two other late, great, incredible comedians, Graham Chapman from the Pythons, with John Cleese, who's obviously still alive, and Marty Feldman, who was in Young Frankenstein, the Mel Brooks film, like big googly eyes. The four of them in one of the really early versions of the Four Yorkshiremen sketch, which is one of the greatest sketches ever written. Absolutely genius. I was watching that today with absolute glee, but very sad that he's passed away.
Yeah,
sorry.
absolutely.
Back to the story.
So, Isobel, we do, despite there being no footage, we do, however, have audio, which for a podcast works out pretty nicely. So, shall we have a listen to Matt Monro's entry, I Love the Little Things.
That you're true. I know I'm so lucky that I came along for you. I love the little things you say, and I love the little things you do. Let's stay forever together this way. My love, I'm so in love with you.
Very sweet there.
It's charming, isn't it? Very charming.
It is charming. Those old, listening, we've had quite a few of those old ones. They're all very nice, aren't they? They're all, you could use them in lovely, warm soundtracks to old black and white movies. All very nice.
Very wholesome.
Oh, very wholesome, yeah. So, on the night itself, Matt Monro finished in second place behind the Italian entry Non Holetta. It was not, however, a close second, as the singer Gigliola Cinquetti achieved a feat unlikely to ever be replicated by scoring almost 3 times more than that of her nearest rival, reaching a total points tally of 49 compared to Matt's 17.
Jesus.
I know, that's quite a gap there, quite a lead. It would
I
have
don't know Nonoletta. I'll have to have a listen to it.
Yeah, that would have been one of those scoring rounds where it's very obvious from the start and you just end up drinking because there's no real tension between anyone there. You don't have those these days.
Not like now, on the edge of your seat every time.
It's genius.
Although I didn't like it last year when they changed it again, and that meant that poor lovely Swedish man John thought that he could potentially win, and he definitely wasn't.
Nothing.
He was nowhere near.
His
poor
absolutely.
face. His poor face. That's going to haunt me forever. Honestly, I'm going to have night terrors about his face on camera when they were out his final score.
Just heartbroken right there. You could see the moment.
Poor bloke.
So, during this time, the band known as the Beatles were flying high, touring Europe and putting out album after album during the peak of Beatlemania. However, one song was giving the group and producer George Martin trouble. Paul McCartney's song Yesterday was the cause of much debate within the group. Originally written in 1964, the Beatles released 2 albums after the song's conception, but didn't include Yesterday on either. The trouble was that Yesterday was such a solo effort from McCartney that the band and their producer didn't want to publish it as a Beatles record, but releasing a solo song would effectively be breaking up the Beatles at their peak. And so it just sat there. The Beatles refused to allow their record label to release Yesterday as a single. In the US, however, their control over the label was weaker, and so Yesterday was released stateside in September 1965. However, in the UK, Matt Monro got his hands on a copy of the song and recorded his own cover, perhaps, and this is just me speculating, through his connections with George Martin. Matt was able to release his version of Yesterday in November of 1965, reaching number 8 in the UK charts, becoming the first person to release Yesterday as a single, ahead of even the Beatles, because they wouldn't even release Yesterday as a single until all the way in 1976.
What? I didn't know that.
In January 1986, the Guinness Book of Records stated that Yesterday was the most recorded song in the history of popular music, with over 1,600 cover versions having been recorded by that point. However, we know that the first of these, ahead of even the Beatles single, was one Matt Monro, the man with the golden voice.
Imagine having...
No, Yesterday. Hey!
No. Imagine being so talented as both a singer-songwriter and a group of singer-songwriters, performers, that you can write a song like Yesterday, which is, as you've just said, one of the most covered songs of all time, one of the most famous Beatles songs, one of the most famous songs in the world of all time. And yet you just sit on it for 12 years.
Yeah. So
12 years.
I will come clean. It was part of an album. So it wasn't, and this might just destroy the whole story, but they did release it as part of an album, but they didn't release it as a single. Matt Monro was the first person to release it as a single.
Even so, like, you just go,
just keep it.
It might be an all right B-side now. We'll just leave it be for 12 years before we actually make a big fucking thing out of it.
I know. And now it's one of the most, like you say, one of the most well-known songs in the world. First released as a single by Matt Monro.
Oh, well done, Matt.
It's a good bit of pub trivia for you there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to story 2.
Oh, there we go. Story 1 done.
Story. I kind of like that. I don't have to go all the way to when he died with this format. I can just be like, story 1 done.
Very interesting.
This is a short one. Story 2. This is called Lars Berghagen's World Record. Lars Berghagen was born in 1945 and released his first record in 1965, aged 19. In 1974, we're jumping through the years here, he participated in Melodifestivalen with the song My Love Song for You. However, he was just beaten out from winning by a little-known band named ABBA. Hard to beat. He returned the following year with the song Jenny Jenny and won, earning his ticket to Eurovision 1975, where he eventually came in 8th position out of 19 entries. However, this isn't Lars Berghagen's only claim to fame, as, according to his Wikipedia page, Lars holds the world record for hitting a golf ball the furthest distance, hitting the ball, and now this is on his Wikipedia page, hitting the ball from Norway, through Sweden, and into Finland. Finland.
No.
Now, it does say on his Wikipedia page that citation is needed.
Right, we've learnt from this before, haven't we, when citations are needed, that pretty much you can write what you want on a Wikipedia page as long as you put that.
We don't know. There is very scant details here.
Is there a part of the 3 countries that's only maybe meters apart?
There is. Similarly to my last story, there is a caveat here, which is that there is a place called Trieksrorset, or the 3-country cairn, which is the point at which all 3 borders meet. So he could have probably hit it like 6 feet and got it into the 3 countries. So I don't know whether the world record is...
No, but it still said that he'd hit it the furthest.
Well, yeah, but the citation is needed,
Not the
right?
most countries. Well, I'm believing it. I'm impressed.
Even so, right? I think that's clever that you hit a golf ball between 3 countries. Genius. But that might be the record. I'm giving him credit for just coming up with a new record. You know, those people who are like, yeah, I'm going to do a new one. And then Guinness are like, yeah, all right, I suppose we'll have to.
Yeah, not one of them normal boring ones like that creepy person that has the 2 long nails. I'd never liked that one. My brother used to get the Guinness Book of Records every year, and it was always the person with the creepy long nails.
Yeah, so that's second story. You see why that one couldn't have been in a full episode.
Love it. Into it. Number 3. Let's go.
Story 3. This one is titled Rare Old Heads. Dickie Rock is an Irish singer who experienced much success on the Irish charts in the 1960s. In 1966, he sang for Ireland in the Eurovision Song Contest with the song Come Back to Stay. He eventually finished 4th in the contest, and the song became a number 1 hit in his home country. However, I am more concerned with a Wikipedia controversy that occurred in 2008. And for this story, I am just going to recite to you a news report from the Sunday Tribune written by journalist Ken Sweeney. Now, just for context, remember this is happening in 2008, just days after the bailout of the banks across the globe, costing governments billions.
Okay. The
headline reads, lewd edits to Dickie Rock Wikipedia page made at Anglo days after guarantee launch. What? Anglo-Irish Bank has begun an investigation after lewd additions made to the Wikipedia page of cabaret singer Dickie Rock were found to have originated from one of its computers. The Sunday Tribune has learned that last October, just days after the government introduced the bank guarantee scheme, which safeguarded all deposits with the country's financial institutions, staff members at the bank added 2 humorous references to Rock's entry on the Internet Encyclopedia. That's a very 2008 line there. The Internet Encyclopedia. The Wikipedia entry is generally accurate, detailing the Irish singer's 45-year career. However, in an addition to Rock's page, made at 12:58 p.m. on the 3rd of October 2008, from IP address 62254161777, it was falsely claimed that Dickie is known for being particularly well hung, as are his 3 sons, who have rare old heads on them and can be seen wandering around Donnybrook Fair.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
On the 10th... This is some great journalism, investigative journalism here. Among those unimpressed was Dickie Rock, who told the Sunday Tribune, "Had these people got nothing better to do? I would have thought with all the trouble going on in the banks, if this was someone in the Anglo-Irish Bank, they should have been trying to sort that out rather than spending their time making silly additions to my life story. Apart from that, what was written doesn't bother me in the slightest, as it's rubbish." Some fairly candid contribution there from Dickie Rock. Approached for comment by the Sunday Tribune this weekend, a spokesperson for Anglo-Irish Bank said, "We can't comment on the specifics of this case, except to say that the bank has a policy that regulates the use of internet by employees or contractors working on behalf of the bank. All staff are obliged to familiarise themselves with this policy and abide by its terms. Abuse of internet access may lead to discipline, up to and including termination of employment." The comments were later deleted from Rock's Wikipedia entry, but their content and the IP address from which they were posted remain on Wikipedia's online records. So was it a disgruntled banker on the last day of his job at the company? Did someone hack into their system to leave the cryptic message? Or could it have even been an inside job written by Dickie himself? It's almost certainly not the last of those things, but the true origin of the libelous comments may never be known. That's my third story.
Wowie. It was like, do you remember when, I can't remember what the town was now, but do you remember there was a few years ago, someone had done something on, I don't know, something had happened on Google anyway, where when you searched for, there was a town in the UK that when you searched for the name of it, you know when it comes up on the right-hand side with a box that shows like a photo of the town and then the map bit next to it and then like the Wikipedia stuff underneath in the box. So it did that, but instead of showing a picture of the town, it showed a very crude photo of a man that should not be seen by many people, if anyone. Yeah. And somehow, I don't know, somehow that was like the go-to image that Google would bring up if you search for this place. But I can't remember what the town was, so you can't all Google it.
No, and that was back in the day when you could manipulate those things, back in the early...
That was only a couple of years ago.
Oh!
Yeah, that was only a few years ago. That wasn't that long ago.
I don't know. That story to me is pretty much a non-story, except for the fact that Ken Sweeney wrote this whole investigative piece about it.
Yeah, you'd think that with an economic crash going on, there'd be bigger things to write about.
Right. Yeah. Write about. Yeah. Exactly. But there wasn't.
But no. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Good. That's news to some people, isn't it?
He got quotes from the Anglo-Irish Bank. He got quotes from Dickie Rock. He really did it. He did his work on that one. Yeah, and that couldn't have been a full episode either. It would have been. We would have been dragging it out.
Definitely couldn't have been. No. Although you could have called up Ken, and he could have helped.
Could have had a guest on. Still got to figure that one out. One day we'll have a guest on.
Some more investigative journalism there with him. Lovely. What a trilogy.
I know, it's an alright trilogy. Sort of big main one and then 2 like B-movie follow-ups.
Very enjoyable, thanks. Very silly.
Good, thanks. Yeah, I thought we needed a silly one. I've done quite a few serious ones recently, and so let's have some fun on Easter Sunday. I do also have one other thing, Isobel. I also have the small matter of my attempts at creating, writing, recording and singing a Eurovision smash hit to be judged by yourself.
You're smashing them out at the moment, aren't you?
I've not got much else to do. I mean, I've got other things, Is
Caroline sick of you?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, Isobel, this week, as I'm sure like lots of us are doing, my mind's been turning to the thoughts of like the other side of what we're going through right now. Now, like, it's very obvious that it's not going to be a clear day where suddenly everything goes back to normal, if it ever does go back to normal again. But I know that one thing we're all going to appreciate at the end of all this is socialising again. Going out with friends, celebrating together, just giving each other a hug. And so, I've decided to create an anthem for the parties that are going to happen when we can all be together again. It needed to be big. It needed to be loud. It needed to be enthusiastic. And it needed to be relentless.
Oh, God.
So, Isobel, I have written a song this week called Every Day is Party Day.
Okay.
Are you ready?
You're as ready as I'll ever be.
If you like to party, then I'm the man for you. I've partied in Antarctic and then in the Arctic too. So come and join our party and we'll let you in our crew. There's room for all the people and the people love you too. Monday, we like to party. Tuesday, we like to party. Wednesday, we like to party. Thursday, we like to party. Friday, we like to party. Saturday, we like to party. Sunday, we like to party. Every day is party day. Everybody dance with somebody. Dance, it's your party. Dance, 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 dance.
giant disco ball. This is my promise that I promise to you.
Everybody dance with somebody. It's your party. Dance, 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 dance.
Okay. That was a song called Every Day is Party Day. I have determined as well that if I do ever have a drag act, that it will be that slightly insane Eastern European character that seems to come out at the worst of times.
Oh, yeah, she appears from time to time, doesn't she?
She appears, yeah. Every now and again.
She smokes 30 a day as well.
Yes, absolutely, she does.
Real gruff.
She's a partier, she is. So that was a song called Every Day's Party Day, and it was one for those hedonistic times at the end of this tunnel that we are in when everyone just wants to party. Isobel, what did you think of it?
Wow, that was like it was definitely the same performer as Festival Fun Fun.
Yeah, she came out.
Definitely. But I feel like her vibe has developed. So, although still slightly terrifying, not as horrifying.
No.
Anywhere near as much as Festival Fun Fun was. She understands that to add like a commercial element to her music.
I was going to say she got like a
like
personal assistant, a PR agent, maybe a new producer on board who could shape her into something that is consumable.
But without changing who she is as a performer, she's still her.
Yeah,
she's still her for sure. I think that's the least like you a song has ever sounded. Like if someone played me that as a song and I didn't know that was one of yours, apart from the fact that it does sound a bit Festival Fun Funish, that doesn't sound like you. All the background singing. Who was that? What was that?
See, I know you said before the song, and I didn't want to reveal it, that has Caroline lost her patience with me.
Shut up.
That is the first time, and probably the only time, that I have ever managed to get Caroline involved in the song. This morning, we did shouting of the days of the week, and then upstairs, downstairs, fresh air, all of those things in our living room. Bless her. That was a little bonding exercise.
Oh my god, that's your first ever
duet
star performance supporting act.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
incredible.
So we layered that up, so it sounded like a big crowd of people, because obviously we can't get a big crowd of people, so it's just the two of us. And so thank you to Caroline for her support on that. Yeah. Listen, I think that there's opportunity here. I think that this is something that similarly, as we've seen with maybe Daddy Frere this year and with Hatari last year, has the opportunity to go viral even before the song contest has even happened. I think
doing your own PR for the song already.
I'm just saying. The kids on TikTok might want to use it to do little what do they do? TikTok skits.
Do their TikToks. Yeah,
do their TikToks with TikToks, if they want to party. A fun party skit. I think there's opportunity here. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with you. I was preparing myself physically at the beginning of the song for it being an absolute horror show. Really got into it though. I did really get into it. It's a bit of a nightmare, but not like a full nightmare.
Well, I wanted it to feel like you were at a techno rave, and sometimes those can be a bit scary. What's that like the really exclusive club in Germany called
Berghain?
Berghain, right? A little bit scary. You don't want to go into some of the rooms.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. You might sit on something. So I wanted it to feel like that, but like sanitized for Eurovision. It's a 3-minute song. It's over in that amount of time, and you move on.
I wasn't sold on the slower bit.
The bridge, yeah.
Bridge. Wasn't sold on the bridge.
It could do with work, but
yeah, that could do with a little bit of work. But for the rest of it, actually, mad, yes. Would my Eurovision loving father like it? No.
It's not for him though. It's for the TikTok kids.
Exactly. It's for the TikTok kids. It's for them TikTok tigs.
Yeah, the TikTok
tigs. It's for the TikTok kids, Dad. I feel like the older Eurovision fan base, maybe, or maybe not fan base is the right word, but watchers would maybe not be so interested in it. They'd see it as one of those silly songs that's got through. How another one of these silly songs that's got no. I'm not impressed by it. However, at a Eurovision party, if I'm hosting one of my Eurovision do's, that song comes on.
Ooh,
the group are going to go wild.
Oh,
the crowd is going to go wild.
Oh yeah,
they are. They just are.
And obviously, clearly there's some inspiration here. We're talking Verka Serduchka as general inspiration for life. But, if it is a similar ilk to that, I think it could be legendary. It could be on the way to, I'm not ever claiming that I will be on the level of Verka, but at least, in 3 years' time, 4 years' time, you're going to remember every day is party day.
You will, you'll always remember every day is party day, definitely.
So Isobel, I think I've pushed this enough in terms of me trying to. But we did say last week I gotta go move out of my comfort zone, and I feel like that I've got that going for me at least. So, Isobel, what score would you give Every Day Is Party Day?
Set.
7.
7. I'm going to give it a 7.
Wow. Okay.
Were you expecting a lot higher?
Yeah, of course I was.
You know what? I was on the cusp of saying 8. And seeing your little sad face then, you look very defeated, very deflated. I was very much, I feel like, you know what, I'm going to change it. I'm going to go for weak. No, I was on the cusp of saying it.
Don't pity me.
I'm just getting flashbacks to Festival Fun, which is drawing the score down. But actually, that was a lot of fun to dance to. I would be in stitches if that got through the semis into the finals, and I would be backing it at the finals. Regardless of who the performer, which country it was, a song like that gets through to the Eurovision finals, I'd be like, yep, great. Get it in the top 5. Come on,
top
guys.
5, fun.
Support this.
Well, there we go. No, I'm happy with that. 8. I'm fine with 8.
You're not. He's absolutely not, guys. I can see his face on the video and he's livid. He's very disappointed.
I was hoping for more. Okay. So, if you disagree with Isobel, hopefully some of you disagree with this as well, let us know. You can reach out to us on the email address europhoriapodcast@gmail.com,
or you can tweet us at EurophoriaCast. And I hope you're all keeping safe. We're in the UK, we're now a month into lockdown, as many other places around the world are. Some are further ahead, some are further behind in terms of how long we've been in isolation for. But stay safe, stay sane, and just look after yourselves and those around you. All right?
Absolutely, please do. And we will be back with an episode next week. So thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.